Today on CityCast Las Vegas, we are celebrating the CityCast 7. These awards are our way of recognizing the often unsung heroes in our community who have made life in Las Vegas better for everyone in 2025. I'm with producer Layla Muhammad and my co-host Dayvid Figler, and we're going to tell you about these 7 generous, creative, resilient people who care deeply about our city. It's Monday, December 15th. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Hi, team.
Hey there.
Hey, Sarah.
Okay, before we get into it, Dayvid, you told me you have a message for our listeners.
Yeah, it's a thank you, especially to all the people who have joined as a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor by going to membership.citycast.fm and signing up. We really appreciate it. But we are going to extend one more day to get that cherished CityCast Las Vegas logoed beanie.
Fun.
We are extending the deadline one day, so you can still get the beanie if you join today at membership.citycast.fm. That's my message.
Nice.
Cool. So, speaking of gratitude, we are here to thank 7 exceptional Las Vegans who deserve their flowers. This is the brainchild of producer Layla Muhammad. So, Layla, will you tell us what the CityCast 7 is?
Yes. So we actually took inspiration from our sister podcast in DC, CityCast DC, who does CityCast 6. We landed on 7 because, being
Lucky
a little
7.
tongue-in-cheek with, the iconic Vegas imagery.
Yep.
CityCast 7, we want to shine a light on people, businesses, collectives that Las Vegas locals should know about, who are making a positive impact in our community. And emphasis on local. This is for the local community. These people are making a change for locals. And
for the better.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to shine a light on them and uplift them because they are uplifting our community.
Yeah, and I want to point out that a lot of our nominees were submitted by members, by our neighbors, by our people in our community, and also by the many contributors of this show. And of course, we got way more submissions that could fit into our 7, which is also exciting.
Yeah, we as a staff looked at the nominations and picked out the 7. It was really hard, but we picked out 7 that really stood out to us for being, those unsung heroes. And they might get attention already, but we want to make sure all of our audience and locals know about them.
Our theme for this conversation is the class of 2025, a little mid-year graduation, So as we talk about each honoree, we're going to give them the yearbook superlative that gives you a little insight into who they are in our Las Vegas community. Make sense?
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's get those names out. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start with someone who is nominated by our contributor, Kim Foster, and someone who I also know personally. That's Nicole Beer, who I say is most likely to lead a protest. So, right? So, okay. Here's how I know Nicole, how we met. Nicole founded Las Vegas's first cookbook lending library called Nice Nice Bite. It started at Palette Restaurant downtown. Now it's in 2 community centers in Henderson. And I've just noticed that the presence of this, the first of its kind in the country, cookbook library, is bringing more attention to Las Vegas for touring authors and chefs that are releasing cookbooks. It's been exciting. But she's also doing work as a social justice warrior. She's a CCSD librarian, so she's out there every day, helping the kids expand their minds. But she's also one of the founders and the executive director of Read Freely Nevada. Read Freely, it's a grassroots anti-censorship organization, and they want to ensure that there are no book bans in Nevada ever, which I think is so cool.
Hear, hear.
So we asked each of the awards recipients to fill out a little survey, and we're going to share some of the answers that kind of surprised or delighted us. I've got 2 shorties from Nicole. One is we asked if she were ruler of Las Vegas for a day, what would be the first improvement you would make for locals? And she said, I would make Las Vegas a sanctuary city and make sure ICE is not able to enter Las Vegas.
Yeah, it kind of pairs well with another honoree.
And I just want to add, we asked her, why do you continue to live in Las Vegas? And she says, I want to make sure that the students in our valley continue to have diverse and inclusive school libraries and curriculum. I stand between those who are trying to censor our libraries, schools, and curriculum and I'm not going anywhere. Thanks, Nicole.
That's right.
Well, I'm already predisposed to love all librarians because they are the keepers of the knowledge and the distributors of the knowledge.
Exactly.
And they also keep people quiet so you can read. So it's all good.
Yeah. All right, Dayvid, you're next, actually. Who is the nominee you want to celebrate?
I'm going to bring forward Tamika Henry. Now, Tamika's name might be familiar to people as an elected official. Since 2024, she has been on the Clark County School Board, the often embattled Clark County School Board, but she definitely brings a reasonable and rational voice to the conversations that come before that board. But I think that in our circles, she was much better known as the executive director of the Abodo Collective. Now, the Abodo Collective is one of those organizations that just pops up everywhere because they have declared war on poverty. And I love that. And she is definitely leading that battle. And I get caught up in these like rabbit holes for our episodes. And so I went down the Tamika Henry rabbit hole and I just saw her at conferences across the country. And wherever poverty pokes its head, you can be sure that she and her teams are there to help keep families housed, to support families who have food insecurity. Let's not forget their great work on the urban farm that's over there in the historic West Side and their community refrigerator and all that stuff. So, I mean, Abodo Collective, they are community driven. They are the necessary part of our safety net. And Tamika Henry, who has not only proven herself in that sense, but also now in public service, definitely deserving of one of the CityCast 7 awards.
Yep.
So what yearbook title would you give Tamika Henry?
I would give Tamika Henry most likely to keep it real. She will bring up the bigger picture, the context. That is who she is going to be. And look, I love born and raised Las Vegans who are not only inspired to help their neighbors, but who put their lives into it. And Tamika is one of those people. So if you ever run into her and you want to get a straight answer, that's what you're going to get.
So we aren't just honoring individuals. We also wanted to include some collectives in this. So, Layla, what can you tell us about Historia?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with my superlative that I assigned Historia, and that's most likely to give you FOMO, fear of missing out, because if you look at their Instagram, if you've seen any pictures from the dinners that they put on, you're going to wish you were there, and you're going to wish that you signed up. So, Historia is a Las Vegas-based pop-up restaurant that explores Filipino history through food. Some of the things that they did this year was explore the Muslim connection and the Spanish connection to the Philippines, and they're really educating Las Vegas in that history. And they were a part of the movement to get that designation for Filipino town solidified this year. Yeah. So they were a big part of that. And in their Q&A, something I want to highlight is we asked, what local issue do you wish more people paid attention to? And I love their answer here. They wish more people paid attention to that designation effort and that the reality that many unhoused residents already live in that area. Cultural recognition and community pride matter, but they need to be paired with housing support, safety measures, and resources that protect current residents rather than displace them. Yeah, so I thought that was a really interesting answer from Historia. And Historia is run by Walbert and Monica, and they started Historia to educate and bring their culture and history to Las Vegas through food. And I think that's such a unique, interesting way with their dinners and their partnerships to bring together communities. And I mean, really, if you go on their Instagram, follow them at Astoria LV, check out their website, sign up for a dinner. It looks delicious. You're going to try something that you've never tried before, and you're going to learn something too.
Oh my gosh. I have to follow them on Instagram. Like, I feel like a dum-dum. I've been missing
You're
out.
Going to get FOMO. You're going to get FOMO.
Like, you're right. Wait, what you said came true.
They have more. They're actually launching a residency at Durango Social Club in January of next year. So make sure to keep up on that and sign up for one of their dinners.
All right. Well, I'm sick with FOMO because this is clearly right up my alley.
Nothing says 'tis the season in Las Vegas like the magical forest at Opportunity Village. In its 33rd season, tickets are on sale now, and they include unlimited rides, mini golf, the Magical Forest Holiday Lights walking path, and trips on the Forest Express train. You'll see Santa there and have an opportunity to get gifts, goodies, and treats throughout the season at the holiday shop, with a beer garden open select nights for the 21 and over crowd. Tickets for the Magical Forest are on sale at www.magicalforest.com. As one of the primary fundraisers for Opportunity Village, attending the Magical Forest directly supports people with disabilities in Southern Nevada. The Magical Forest at Opportunity Village is open every evening from December 15th through the 24th, and then again the 26th through the 31st. Get more details and purchase tickets at www.magicalforest.com and stay updated by following the event's social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Magical Forest OV. Tell me if this is you. Holidays are so far away, I don't have to worry about getting gifts. Oh my God, the holidays are right around the corner. Oh my God, I'm completely out of time. Well, if you want to skip the panic, do what I did this year, and that is get a hold of an aura frame. You know, it is so hard to find a personal gift for the people you're closest to, but what better way than to share pictures that you know that they would love to see on a beautiful digital picture frame. It really is a beauty, and, you know, the photo quality is amazing, and every frame that you send as a gift comes packaged in a premium gift box. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames. They've been named #1 by Wirecutter. Just use the promo code CityCast at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code CityCast. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and those frames do sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support this show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
So our fourth nominee is someone that, Dayvid, you actually know personally. Do you want to tell us about Michael Kagan?
Yeah, Professor Michael Kagan from the Boyd School of Law is a lawyer colleague of mine, of course. He's been over at Boyd since 2011. He is the director of the UNLV Immigration Clinic. And I will say that 2025 is a year of heightened visibility of Professor Kagan, because not only does, he and all of his students tirelessly fight for the rights of those who are being targeted for deportation or who are trying to get their citizenship by following the rules in and out of court, but because of the shift of policy from the Trump administration on how we do these deportation proceedings, how people are grabbed basically off the street, his team has had to work. I don't even know the multiplier of how hard they've worked in the past. They worked really hard in the past. Part of his job is obviously making sure that the courts are held accountable, that people are given their due process rights. And, he's really good at that. He has been building legal aid programs for refugees in the past, and he is a brilliant man and knows immigration law probably better than anyone else in the community. Certainly, I subscribe to a Substack, which is called Behind the Border, because it always gives me the latest truth about the kind of information and hyperbole that's being passed along as it relates to all these deportation traumas that we are seeing on a daily basis. I mean, hats off also to Professor Kagan for coming on this podcast numerous times during 2025 to really soberly explain it all, and fairly and even-handedly. And while I know he has his personal opinions about things, and they are important, and he does have the ability to express them, and he does, he really does keep it level so that everyone, no matter what side of the equation of immigration you're on, will understand what's really happening. He's keeping the feet to the fire on statistics. He's watching everything all the time, and he's gracious enough to share his time with, I think, anyone who asks to really, truly explain the situation.
Dayvid, speaking of his opinions, do we have some answers from the survey for Michael?
Yeah. One of my favorite was, why does he continue to live in Las Vegas? And he had a great answer. That he loves the people behind the facade of our community. I mean, obviously, we have our reputation, et cetera, but he pointed specifically to the UNLV graduations. And he loves, this town at its best is when a hairdresser and a construction worker can raise their family and watch their son or daughter become a lawyer. I mean, it's a family story. It's an immigrant story, he says, a hardworking story. And that's this country at its best, if you ask Michael Kagan. And for the superlative for Michael Kagan, I have assigned him Homecoming King. Not because he's our solo male nominee as an individual, but also because, just to play off the words, he is helping people come home, people who are snatched off the streets and taken away from their families to come back home and, to continue to make Las Vegas a home. So yeah, Professor Kagan gets our Homecoming King superlative.
Yay.
Love that.
All right, Layla. So I would love for you to talk about a community member that maybe a lot of Las Vegans haven't heard of, but is doing some amazing work. Can you tell us about Kaylee Mancha?
Yeah, so Kaylee Mancha, she was nominated by our colleague Vogue Robinson. And the superlative I gave her, I was actually juggling in between 3 for her, but I think the one I'm landing on is most likely to inspire you to do some self-care. Because the more I learned about Kaylee, the more I'm like, I need to get out, go eat some like healthy vegan food, maybe go take a walk, make sure I check up with my doctors, make sure my mental health is in check.
100.
So Kaylee is a full spectrum birth worker and licensed marriage and family therapist for 15 years, specializing in perinatal mental health conditions, reproductive experiences, loss, trauma, and complex PTSD. In 2025, Kaylee has done so much. When we asked what she's done kind of for this year, the list that she sent was so impressive. She's distributed essential reproductive health resources, offering hundreds of free yoga classes. She's advanced maternal health policy and research. She's spoken at national conferences on behalf of mental health. She's mentored community members. She runs wellness programs. She has a magazine that she publishes. She leads workshops. She really has her hands deeply into the wellness community in Las Vegas and is really pushing that forward. In her survey, one of the other superlatives I wanted to assign her that is most likely to also secretly be a superhero because of all of the things that she does.
Seriously.
I'm also thinking about like that Scott Pilgrim scene where the vegans are superheroes and she put her...
Or supervillains. Let's be real.
They have superpowers. They have superpowers.
They do have superpowers.
But we asked if you could order one meal from any Las Vegas restaurant as your last meal on Earth, what would it be and why? And she put a whole like 3-course meal, and they were all vegan foods from around the city.
Great vegan food here. I know that to be true.
Yeah, so check out, we'll be posting the survey answers on our website. So check out Kaylee's answers and maybe you'll find your new vegan spot.
Man, Kaylee, we love you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Okay, Dayvid, we're back to you. Tell us about Brooke Page.
Brooke Page, yet another, and I'm so glad I got another born and raised Las Vegan who is so deeply immersed in our community and just doing good things year in and year out. She had a big year in 2025. I'm going to start with her superlative. She is the homecoming queen. And that is because she has devoted this portion of her adult life to making sure people get into homes.
Yep.
I mean, she is all housing first. So she's worked for 25 years in the human service field, but currently serves as the managing director of the Western region at the Corporation for Supportive Housing. And that acronym is probably unmanageable, but I will say this about the Corporation for Supportive Housing here in Las Vegas. She gets it. That every sector of, people's lives, especially people who are struggling to stay inside homes, who are struggling with healthcare, justice, child welfare, aging, the whole schmear, all comes down to making sure that they are in a good housing situation. And supportive housing, and it's not just a theory for her. I mean, she has best practices. And as the federal government, we know, is divesting from this whole idea of supportive housing, they're changing their strategy altogether. Her persistence, like singularly, has helped Nevada take its own historic steps towards building the kind of infrastructure here in our community to keep those vulnerable neighbors safely housed, and not just safely housed for the moment.
This has been in the 2025 legislation session that she's been doing a lot of this work.
Through her testimony and citing all the statistics and all the, vulnerabilities and the likelihood and how much it actually costs to do nothing, which is such a smart approach, right?
Yeah.
Like there's already a cost. She's like, let's turn that cost around. If we're going to spend that amount of money after the fact, let's spend the same amount to prevent it from happening. So smart. So in 2023, she got a big chunk, millions of dollars to expand supportive housing. And then again in 2025, went back, wasn't happy with just the money that they got the first round. And then through Assembly Bill 366, helped establish the Nevada Supporting Housing Development Account with another $21 million to expand supportive housing across Nevada. So she has had a really good year in keeping that housing conversation going as others are trying to get rid of it.
What's a response that surprised or delighted you from her survey?
Well, the delight was right in line with the work that she's doing in housing. We asked her if she was ruler of Las Vegas for a day, what's the first improvement she'd make for locals? And she said, I would give locals the first right of refusal to buy or rent homes, to bid on projects, to access capital, and to truly prioritize local families and businesses over these garbage corporations that are buying up all our housing stock, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That would affect me.
I added the part about the lousy corporations, but, straight up, giving locals the first crack at having a successful life is the thing that she would do. Awesome.
Yeah. And as I've talked about many times, I got kind of first right of refusal when my rental home was going to be sold. And I don't know if there was another circumstance that would have landed me in my own house in this day and age. So let's push to a better future. All right, I'm going to end it. I'm going to wrap it up by talking about our last, but certainly not least award winner. That's Jen Toller. So
my friend Jen.
I say Jen. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jen is the woman behind the scenes downtown, for sure. She, in 2025, opened the new bar Dustland, which, Dayvid, has quickly become one of your favorites, for sure.
Absolutely.
But I am saying that she is going to be most likely to take over the world. Because if you think Dustland is the only thing she has done, you would be wrong. She founded Market in the Alley. She founded the Art and Wine Walk and Picnic in the Alley. Wait, there's more. She also opened Ferguson's Downtown and the Aiken Cooperative. Like, these are cornerstones of our community on Fremont Street in the Arts District. Like, she just focuses on highlighting like local small businesses. That's what all of her festivals and businesses do, is showcase artists that drive our local economy. I mean, her work just strengthens the city's independent creative scene. And, we foster this sense of connection. Think about even just sitting in that beautiful space in Ferguson's,
Yeah.
And she works so well with others because all those projects you mentioned obviously have multiple people involved, but the one common thread is Jen throughout, right?
And if I can just mention, Dayvid and I actually, before we even started this CityCast 7 project, Dayvid and I ran into and met Nicole Beer at Picnic in the Alley. So Jen brings everybody
all
together and talk
collide.
about a community builder.
Interconnectivity. So
I'd also vote her best hugger because she's just filled with warmth.
That's nice.
And she's the best.
So, the question that surprised and delighted me, why do you continue to live in Las Vegas? Her answer is two parts. I love how close we are to the mountains. I'm happiest outdoor hiking, exploring, and now sharing that with my little one. Plus, Vegas is so easy to travel to and from, whether we're heading out on a quick trip or welcoming friends and family here. All the reasons that I love Vegas, too. But the thing that I really loved is that she wrote, when I moved to Las Vegas in 2009, I never imagined I'd stay. Yet somewhere along the way, this place got its hooks in me. Being able to immerse myself in the local creative community and contribute to its growth, along with the evolution of our city and downtown, has made me feel like there's nowhere else I'd rather be. And I have a feeling that is probably true for all of our award winners, that they want to be here. And we're so happy to have them here and a part of our city as well.
7 cheers for the CityCast 7. Hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray, hip hip hooray. And 4 more.
And 4 more, yeah.
Yeah, thank you all for your impact that you've made on the Las Vegas community this year. And if you want to read more about the CityCast 7, you can find articles on them on our website, lasvegas.citycast.fm. And there'll also be a little bit in the newsletter.
Thank you so much for helping me out here today, Dayvid and Layla. Celebrate these fine folks.
I love a fun award ceremony. That was great.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks, Sarah.
Ours was shorter than most, so good on us. And that's all for today here in CityCast Las Vegas. Hey, if you enjoyed this show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to that morning newsletter, Hey Las Vegas. Hey, and don't forget you can support this show and get that beanie You've Got One More Day by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.